Somewhere inside all of us, there's a yearning to feel connected, be it through conversation, social media, or an art form. Connectivity is what drives many. Sometimes that connectivity lies in other people, other times in nature. It's not the end result, but the journey that drives yearning. Today, I'd like to talk about something that dragged me out from under my bed sheets and out into the sunlight. Something that I wanted to experience because of the people I'd meet and where it could take me, internally and externally. Climbing. It's a unique niche that I feel is more instinctive than intuitive. Many children grow up wanting to climb trees, but it's rare to see adults pursuing such an endeavor. Enter rock climbing. Defined very simply as the sport or activity of climbing rock faces, especially with the aid of rope and special equipment, climbing is a unique sport that comes in various forms: bouldering, top roping, lead climbing, trad climbing, and sport climbing. Without getting too into the detail of it all, this video aims to introduce the basic concepts behind climbing, the lifestyle that is involved, and the health benefits, all of which will be told in a, hopefully, unique and engaging way.
Throughout history, there have existed many cultures that have shared a close bond with nature. The indigenous tribes of the Amazon, the Aztec and the Incas, and the Malayans of the Southeast Asia. But few cultures have exhibited the raw and unyielding bond that is the climber and his rock. Though the culture is young, when compared to many seasoned civilizations, the rock climbers share a curious obsession with feeling one with Mother Earth. Or rather, more specifically, her stony facade. But what is there to such a culture? Surely there is more to it than just traversing cliff sides. Join us as we climb in and take a gander at the climber's lifestyle. Here we observe a pack of climbers engaging in their morning warm-up routine. They stretch, flex, and commit themselves to reaching their peak potential condition. Many engage in activities that have been borrowed from other cultures, such as yoga, dieting, and drinking coffee. Soon the climb begins. The pack starts with simpler routes, meticulously working their way up to a point where enough of them feel challenged, but not so as to exclude some of the newer members to the pack. As they climb, it is common to see members of the pack encourage one another during the difficult climbs. Because failure is normal, success is celebrated often, even by members from outside of the pack. The day darkens and the rock climbers begin to feel famished. Now they must decide on where to nourish themselves. Often the rock climbers will congregate at a place deemed to have acceptable beverages, like a nice cold beer. Here, socializing continues, and depending on how heavily the members of the pack have exerted themselves throughout the day, may result in further nocturnal endeavors. Tonight, however, they are weary and decide to return to their dwellings and rest. While rock climbers may not have the most elegant culture when compared to others, there is no doubt that these climbers have committed themselves to a task, one of great personal importance, requiring great mental fortitude in their pursuit of a stronger connection with the lay of the land.
Welcome back to Athenian News Network, where we bring your daily updates on youth communities from around Bristol. In one of our previous instalments, we mentioned how various sports displayed a positive impact on youths and individuals that regularly engage in physical activities, displaying an increase in self-confidence, high levels of energy, and a more positive mindset. In the last few weeks, we here at ANN have looked into youth groups from the area that have been participating in climbing and related activities, hoping to better understand the benefits that the sports has to offer to individuals who struggle to cope with psychological conditions. While the jury is still open regarding just how beneficial these activities are to overall mental health, there is a clear established correlation between sport and psychological benefits. Dr. Rebecca Williams, a clinical psychologist at Bangor University and climbing instructor, runs a course on psychological health enhancements, where she teaches the impact of planning and preparation as a means of combating fear and anxiety, suggesting a strong link between the sports and the psychological field. We have with us here Gordon Rotherham, a health and safety expert in climbing, who has worked with youths for over a decade. He is also a medical professional and has a background working with Young Bristol.
I am a SPA qualified climbing instructor. I've been a full-time youth worker. I qualified as youth worker in 1991. I've ran maybe half a dozen youth centres and various youth projects over the last 30 years. If for whatever reason some person doesn't have a stable or controlled background or current life, so it may be young people with behavioural issues, it may be somebody who's coping with a serious mental illness, climbing gives you the ability to control your environment, very much so. For instance, people who self-harm very often self-harm because they lack the control over their own bodies or external circumstances. So the one thing they can control is the self-harm because no one else can make them stop. With the climbing, you have control. Climbing itself is one of the few sports where you intentionally put yourself in danger and then work out how to get out of it. It's very similar to mindfulness in that sense, that you've got to focus on what's immediately in front of you. I don't know if I can generalise. I do believe that climbing can affect people for the better, irrespective of what they may have as an issue, whether that's additional needs, whether it's special needs, whether it's mental health issues, whether it's mental health illness, whatever the issues they have, they can gain something from it. Now, it may be that they feel that they gain different things, but I would suggest it broadly comes under the headings that they gain self-confidence, they gain a new skill, they gain the awareness that actually they're capable of doing something they didn't think they were going to be able to do. I would even go further and suggest that climbing has benefits to everybody, irrespective of their needs.
We have sent a team out to ask a few of these youth climbers on how climbing has personally affected their overall mental health. Here are a few of their testimonials.
I like the challenge. There's everything for everyone.
I feel like when I'm on there, all the other stuff in my life, it's kind of on the back bench, and you just feel safe.
I think the main thing is the sense of community.
So you end up like climbing 3 times a week, and it provides like a healthy balance with university and exercise, which I really like. It's a stress relief as well.
It doesn't often provide solutions, but it provides a safe space where I can kind of, if I'm feeling stressed, exams, whatever, if you climb for half an hour, you're on the wall and it's kind of a stopgap, I think.
It's made me a lot more confident in myself, my abilities, and in socialising, that it transfers into other parts of your life as well.
With the 2020 Olympics coming up in Japan, sport climbing has been announced as a new Olympic category, and with it, a large spark of interest has arisen surrounding the sport, with climbing slowly growing in popularity. While it is exciting to see a new era for sport climbers around the world, it is especially uplifting knowing that climbing and other competitive sports like it also contribute towards a better societal conscience, one individual at a time.
Hi, my name is Bill, and I'll be your instructor today. Everybody knows it's important to take care of yourself mentally, but it's also important to take care of yourself physically. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video segment.
Remember, climbing is a sport, and it's in your best interest to take care of yourself with the right equipment.
First off, we're going to talk about the helmet. There's nothing complicated about a helmet, but it's very important to wear one all times when you're climbing outdoors. This is because you never know when a rock might fall from above. It's better to be safe than sorry. The harness is the main safety net when climbing. This is where you attach the rope that'll catch you if you fall. Whilst the harness doesn't look like much, don't be afraid, because these, along with the ropes, are designed to carry more than 2 tons of weight. Now we're going to show you how to tie into a harness with a rope with a basic figure of 8 knot. This may look complicated, but actually it's one of the easiest knots to learn. First, you create a bight in the rope. This is a bight. Then, take your loose end and put it around the neck. Take your top end and put it through the original loop. Then you pull it taut and it should look like an 8. This here is a carabiner. This is used to control the tension within the rope. This is mainly used with a belay device. Together they can be used to belay another climber. Depending on what kind of climbing you're doing, you may use a quick draw. A quick draw is just 2 carabiners connected by a bit of material called the dog bone. Lastly, climbing shoes. Whilst they're not a must, they do make climbing significantly easier. They are also made of rubber, which prevents you from slipping whilst climbing. And that's it. I hope you learnt a thing or two about climbing today. If you need to be reminded about anything, don't hesitate to watch this segment again. Always watch out for what's above your head. Remember to double check your climbing equipment, chalk up, and have fun when you climb.
Now for something different. Do you have trouble getting up in the morning, dreading the day ahead? Have you felt like you've never reached your prime? Do you have the urge to try something new, something exhilarating? Perhaps a change in lifestyle? Then come on to your local climbing center. An open, controlled environment. Challenges abound. Meet new people and make new acquaintances. There's nothing quite like feeling fresh and invigorated while building towards personal goals. Climb just once a week and you'll feel like a new man. If all you need is a reason to get out of bed or target to work towards, then who knows? You might be scaling a cliff in no time. This could be it, the change of a lifetime, so why wait? The time for change is yesterday. Now go!
For the longest time, climbing did not receive the competitive recognition it deserved. In fact, it will only be premiering for the first time as an Olympic sport in the upcoming 2020 Olympics in Japan. This is largely due to the rise in popularity, thanks to the fact that modern-day industry has allowed for specialized climbing gyms to become popular across the world. As a sport, it is physically demanding, requires immense concentration and weeks of planning ahead in some cases before being able to send a route. As a lifestyle, climbing is all about finding a balance between internal conflict and feeling good, while taking care of yourself physically. While it may not be for everyone, it certainly is rewarding for those who stand by it. I encourage everyone to at least try climbing out, and if you ever want to give the sport a try, remember what we've covered in this video: the climbing lifestyle, internal mediation, and your best interest. Now go, and give it a try. Believe me, climbing can be a lot of fun.